This week on the Push All Legs podcast, what to do in a competition event week with your training and your nutrition, how to be a flashy twat, and before or after breakfast, when are you brushing your teeth? And 3, 2, 1. I've escaped the bed bug so far.
Hey guys, welcome to the Push All Legs podcast with myself, Dan Meek.
And me, Tom Hall. We got a little giggle out there. We got a giggle.
You caught me off guard then, mate. Yeah, you caught me off guard. I was not expecting that at all. And then I remembered all the fucking news. But they made it to London now, have they? They made it across the Eurostar.
Yeah. They've made it. They took the. Bed bugs are smart. They took the train.
I can imagine.
They're pouncing on the main cities. So I'm assuming. My main source of knowledge on this is through Instagram Reels and TikToks, probably. So. Or Instagram Reels are 2 weeks behind TikToks, so probably they were here 2 weeks behind. So 2 weeks ago. So I've seen videos of them. They're like,
Bed bugs London. I've just put in. What comes up?
I've seen a few people didn't really know what bed bugs were.
Well, the bugs that live in your bed. So
no, but then they were like, it's like that kind of the bugs that are just everywhere. Kind of like, all right. There's always bugs everywhere. That's fine, but it's the ones you can't see. I was like, no, you can see these ones. They feast on flesh. They're fucking gross. I've never seen them in person, but I did have to take the tube yesterday. So
they're on the tube, apparently. It says here.
I was having a little look out. So I normally cycle everywhere, so I'm reasonably safe. But I'm assuming the clothes that I wore on the tube yesterday, I might as well just burn them. So. Yeah,
I would. Yeah.
So if anybody in Maida Vale sees, there's probably going to be some burning buildings around. So I live at flat. I'm not going to say that on the podcast. There do be some weird. I live on Elgin Avenue. It's a fucking massive road. See which one you get to.
Elgin Avenue, huh?
Right. What's going on, mate? Yoda?
Not a lot, mate. I just as I went on that bed bugs thing, I've just been hit with golf shoes adverts. So I'm currently looking at Jordan's right in front of me, Jordan golf shoes. And now I'm thinking about buying a pair because I've already got 2 pairs. What would go wrong with a 3rd pair?
I think you definitely need to get a pair of new shoes before I come out. Otherwise, it's probably what you need to do.
Yeah.
So I got
a new Baby Yoda.
A new Funko Pop. I like these. They're quite funny. That's what the little models are called.
Oh, right.
Funkos. See?
Yeah. Tom's just got he's got a little another toy. He's a child. Tom's a child. He's a man child. Tom's a man child.
I'm funding Vietnam. That's what I'm doing. Helping third world countries out. Thank you.
Yeah.
Unlike you. Not like you, Dan.
Yeah.
So
I live in a third world country, mate. So there you go.
Biggest, very first world.
Definitely not.
That's fine. What's been happening in your week? All good?
Yeah, mate, not too bad. Golf lesson last week went okay. Sort of identified a few issues, which I'm hoping will be fixed by the time you come out.
I know, it's fantastic. I saw your post. I actually saw your email because I was like, I knew it was going to be about golf, and I was like, I'll give this a scan read. You got about 30 seconds of my time, which is way more than you normally get on an email.
I was about to say, must be, but yeah, I shot 77 last round I played, so I'll take that. There was a few errors, and I had 1 chip in, so that, I mean, I say that doesn't count. It does count, but like technically it's 78. Do you know what I mean? Really, like, it doesn't really count.
I've never seen you chip in, so I don't think that ever happened. So
it did, and then and the guy I was playing with, I beat him, so that was good. Like he's another guy that I kind of know there. So yeah,
Mike doesn't count. So I saw you play with Mike.
No, Mike, yeah. I'm playing Mike tomorrow, actually. Par 3, so that'll be fun.
Nice.
He does like little par 3s. He's obviously, the thing is, he would go on it, like he would go on a bigger course. I think he's been on one a couple of times, but he doesn't want to do it if there's other people there. So I'm like, well, I can't guarantee that it'll be that way.
Like book out the whole tee time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
basically, yeah. And I'm like, I can't guarantee there'll be no one else there, blah, blah, blah. And he just obviously will get really nervous with it. So,
there's no other sport like it, I swear. First tee nerves are just the biggest thing, no matter who you're playing with.
And playing in front of other people as well, I think, is definitely an element of it.
It's just like, it's madness. Like every single time, like Alan Shearer talks about that. He's just like, he's played in front of hundreds of thousands of people, obviously millions of people playing football, and he's like never been nervous but he was just like the first tee for golf, and he played it like, I think he did like the Pro-Am at Wentworth once, and he was like, I am shitting my pants. Like, and he's apparently like, he plays off like 6 or 7 or something, so he's a decent golfer, but he's just like, I am shitting my pants, I cannot do this. And he was just like, what is this going on? So yeah, well, we got competition starts, I mean, this time in like 10 days ish.
Yeah,
me and you those. But you have obviously a direct advantage. Everybody listening, he has a big advantage being playing every single day and knowing the courses better than me and the conditions. So we need
all the courses.
Next year we need to bring you back, and we go and play links or English golf, so I get a slight leg up. That's what
yeah, but you can't guarantee the weather, mate. I can't see it happening.
That's what the fun. That's the fun of golf. That's the fun of playing.
I'm not playing in the rain, mate. I'm not playing in the rain.
We're going to go to Scotland and we're going to play in the rain.
No, I'm a fair weather golfer. I'm a fair weather golfer.
Right, we need to go play some links because, well, actually, you hit a lower ball than me, so it's that.
Well, that's one of the things he's fucking changing. So
yeah, I'm sure he is.
Yeah,
you want to because basically, if anybody's bored of this golf chat, it's fine. Because you'll probably want to land the ball on the green, so it just stops. So your carry distance is very similar to your total yardage. So you have that kind of element. Whereas Dan would probably bounce on slightly. Probably got some nip on it. The lad hits with a little bit of nip, but yeah, probably goes doosh, doosh before it stops. You don't want it to release out as much, I would assume.
Yeah, he just I mean, I'm too steep on the ball. I'm in my head too far forward, and essentially
also hitting it up has also got something to do with speed, mate, as well. So swing speed needs to dial in, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, no, it's all going well. It's just a case of it's just implementing it, and it feels very strange and odd, and all those things that happens when you change something in your golf swing, basically. But it'll be fine. 10 days to practice. I've got another lesson this weekend. We'll be fine. Absolutely fine. I have another lesson. No, I'll probably have another lesson just before you arrive as well.
I'm actually going to play twice before as well. So I'm playing. Ooh. I'm hopefully going to go out and just practice this weekend, and then I am playing.
Tom's taking it seriously. Tom is taking it seriously.
So I'll be at the Addington on Monday if anybody wants to come down there. So yeah, lovely. You can't play, but I'll be there. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Today we need to talk about. Obviously, I've got a combine going right this second. If you're a part of it, congratulations. If you're not, then what the fuck you do? I think we have rounded out about 30 people who are jumping in to train for something this week, which is nice and fun. In a little Facebook group. So we'll see what's going on. But we'll give a little. I don't know, if you follow my socials, everything, you'll realize what is happening this week. But it kind of led me into kind of discussing also this High Rocks this weekend. So I've really run this at the stupidest time because that's obviously a demographic that I tend to train. But I also should know it because obviously I've got people that are competing in High Rocks this weekend, and I was like, this is a silly time to run this, but Sook was just like, act fast, doesn't matter, just put it out there. Done is better than like perfect. So yeah, let's crack on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it kind of got me thinking in terms of people, what they do during these kind of weeks. Obviously, Dan, you could like relay from a nutritional point of view, and I could relay from the actual training point of view of what I kind of advise. And also we need to talk about being flash because I've just coined Dan the James Milner of business mentors. So he can. So he's better than Jordan Henderson. So better than Jordan.
That is true, mate. If you'd have called me that, I'd have fucking screamed. Yeah.
So and then obviously, I mean, should we talk about Gaza first?
Not talk about that.
No, we're not going to talk about that. Oh, and we do need to talk about the biggest topic of the week is I think we talked about it a long time ago, but it might have been part of the pulleys a long time ago. And I was like having a discussion earlier. And what is the worst thing to have after you've brushed your teeth?
Orange juice. Everyone knows that.
Everyone would, but would that be? I think it's you associate it with that with obviously orange juice, brushing your teeth in the morning, and then you go and have something maybe. But is there a worse food or worse thing to have after, or is it because that's normally a breakfast-based item?
I always get confused by this because I didn't know until recently that there were people out there who brush their teeth before eating breakfast. I've always had breakfast.
I normally wake up and then I brush my teeth.
No, see, I've always had breakfast first, waking up, and then brush my teeth because it seems absolutely pointless brushing your teeth. Because think about what the last thing you do before you go to bed is. You brush your teeth. Have you eaten anything? No.
Well, that was always my
Why brush your teeth? Well. Obviously, if your breath's bad, then that's fine.
But I was like, I don't like the sensation when I wake up. And I'm like, I probably sleep with my mouth open. And it's a bit like mouth breathy, desert mouth kind of thing. So I'm just like, all right, I need to get that sensation out.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure coffee would be pretty bad after brushing teeth. But that's where I always have a coffee because obviously my breath's probably bad in the morning, understandable, right? But I'm also not seeing anyone really other than my family. And I'm like, well, I'll have a coffee, have some breakfast, then brush my teeth. See, I do brush my teeth before I leave the house, you see, for me. So I would have, even if I don't have breakfast, I'd have a coffee, then I brush my teeth, then I go.
See, I think maybe it's born out of like, for me as an adult, it'll be like I'm waking up and then I'm going to brush my teeth and then I'm leaving and like having a drink and yogurt as I go. And I'm
I'm going to take a picture of you doing this, Tom, and I'm going to put this as a poll on my Instagram and we're going to discuss whether or not.
Oh, we'll get Yoda. We'll get Yoda in it. Okay.
Get Yoda in. There we go. Right.
Oh, it's not the right way.
Right. We'll see what the poll says. Do you brush your teeth before breakfast or after?
Right. So, but we'll it'll be weird. I'm sure we'll check at the end of the show what the poll's saying.
Yeah. We can see. Yeah. In the morning, Alexa, do you brush your teeth before breakfast?
Remind me in 30 minutes to check the poll.
Okay, I'll remind you in 30 minutes.
Right, we have to make this podcast last at least 30 minutes. I think we'll be able to do that.
I reckon so.
Can you hear Alexa?
Yeah, she's really annoying.
Right, just in case I can't. I got my headphones in, so.
In the morning, I'm just making sure I structure the question correctly. In the morning, do you brush your teeth before breakfast or after? There's no ambiguity there, right? That is a clear.
Yeah.
Right, there we go. It's out there, mate, in the world.
Beautiful.
Let me just make sure that people are aware that it's an argument we're having. They're more likely to then comment. Little tip for all you online coaches listening out there: make sure there's a little bit of controversy in it. People are more likely to give their opinion when they think you're having an argument about it. Even though me and Tom aren't actually having an argument about it, as you guys know. Well, even though I'm right and he's wrong, but
difference of opinion. It's fine.
There we go. It's out in the world.
But I think I would, but I think the way I do it is born out of necessity more than anything else. I understand like where you're coming from in the necessity thing. I do get it to a degree, but my argument is if you're having breakfast after brushing your teeth, there's no point brushing your teeth. I think I just want that taste. I would probably, at third space, I would normally like mouthwash and stuff as well. I think
this is where, hang on, now we're on to a different topic. I think mouthwash is chronically underrated as a tool. Because if I was you and I didn't like that feeling, I'd be like, mouthwash first thing, great, brilliant. Or likewise, if I brushed my teeth first thing, then I had breakfast, I'd then have mouthwash afterwards before I go. Like, I think mouthwash is something you should always have lying around because it's super, super easy. If you just grab something to eat quick and you're like, shit, can't brush my teeth, it's got to be better than nothing, surely.
Do you know, I believe this is correct, that Listerine, obviously there are other mouthwashes, but I believe that's the only one that I know, they invented halitosis. The company that they had a product that seemed to do this, and then they put the product and then they invented a kind of disorder, which was halitosis, to have that product again. Yeah, so they make money. Smart. We should invent something in the fitness industry that people actually isn't a problem, but we've got a solution for that non-problem. Perfect. Yeah. It's like this is now socially unacceptable, and we've got the answer for it. And then open the floodgates down. So what can we do? I don't really know.
I always did wonder why they decided on mint as the smell for good breath.
It is though. You immediately associate it with it. It's like
I don't know why though, because it's just
Is it 'cause
ingrained
it's
in me.
clearing? Like,
Is it clearing? Yeah, I don't know, but like, imagine if it was
like,
like orange. Why is it not orange? Or strawberries? Why is it not?
yeah.
I don't know why that became a thing. I'm sure there's a reason.
I
I'm sure
reckon,
someone's going to
is
tell
it
us
like
why.
that menthol basis of it does like
See,
open you
I
up a little bit?
assumed it was to do with it or something in mint that was to do with like the reduces the acidity in your mouth. I assumed there was something within mint that was useful for it. But then obviously since then we have loads of different types of flavors and stuff like that, and it's nothing to do with it. Maybe dentists can help me out. Any dentists know anything? They can help me out. But anyway.
I feel like I'm gonna sneeze.
Right, it's not looking good, Tom, for you, mate. It's not looking good for you, mate.
Is it not?
Now. Tell you that
Jesus.
now, mate. We're at 20, we're at 10 votes in total for the whole poll. All of them are for me. 11 now.
Really? I mean, it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone so far. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, mate. We'll see
they're
what
all
happens.
they're all online coaches and don't go to work. So that's
Maybe.
the thing.
Maybe. Who knows, mate?
But yeah, if you're just this is your first show, then we do talk about fitness. At some point.
If this is your first show, how the fuck have you found us? That's what I want to know. Like, how has that occurred? If it is your first show, please reach out and tell us. I would be super intrigued.
I was always staggered that 100 bits of people actually bothered listening to us. But yeah, orange. It's got orange. So I've got like orange juice, OJ, orange juice, OJ. Pretty much everybody has gone for orange juice, apart from cantaloupe juice. Really weird one.
All right, who's that? Fucking posh.
And then I feel like this is taking the piss. Fried scorpion.
What?
I don't really know that, but it's a consensus. Yeah, from mine, it's orange juice on my poll.
I think coffee's pretty bad
Questions.
as well. Like,
I think coffee is pretty bad in general. But anyway, let's switch this up, mate. Cool. If you're doing a peak week or performance-based peak week, not a bodybuilding shit, that one. I think that's what most people think peak week is, right?
They do, yeah.
Peaking. Sure. Yeah, just don't eat calories. Fucking hell. It's fine. Just get even leaner and even more malnourished and even more awful. Shredded. Yeah. Nah, they're grinding, mate. They're just
grinding.
Do even more non-cardio. That's what people do. Even more non-cardio. Non-cardio. We've had this discussion before. Cardio has a direct effect on your VO2 max. Walking does not. Good.
Don't believe you.
Right, we're then me and Dan will have a race as well. Like we decided we're gonna have a race. Any distance he can pick it. When
20
I'm
meters.
to buy 20 meters. I've still got you. It's fine. Right, we can get that. With your knee, fucking hell, old man.
The old man knee, mate.
He walks. You're not allowed to. That's why you don't walk the course, Dan. Because you're old man knees. Oh, bless him. Right. So peaking. So in terms of obviously my combine week has, in perfect world, I wouldn't make somebody do this many tests in a week. Okay, but we don't live in a perfect world. This is more kind of like most people are going to be able to do this. So we're going to have like 3 or 4 days that we're able to do a batch of tests. I've made it as scientific as possible to give like energy systems and muscles kind of to relax and chill out before the next effort. And obviously I've done it it's like day on, day off, day on, day off, day on, day off. So if somebody was trying to train or max out, especially if there's a high rocks event at the end of the week, or maybe they've got 3 days they need to peak for within that week, what would you do nutritionally, Dan?
The problem a lot of people have with peaking, or the mistake I see very, very often, and I actually used to see it a lot with footballers actually, and it was one thing that I never understood, is that they try and cram everything in last minute, like in terms of carbs and energy and all that sort of stuff. So you hear about people carb loading and things like that, and the amount of footballers who used to, my dog's going barking. The amount of people that used to just throw in shitloads of carbs, like the morning of a 3 o'clock game. You know, they'd be on oats, fruit, eggs, beans, toast, and then again at lunch they then have chicken and pasta and tomato sauce and like just you add it up and it was like they were trying to get in 250 grams of carbs in a 4-hour window before a 3 p.m. game. And I'm like, you do realize carbs can be stored, right? Like, why are you going to all this extent? Anyway, point is, you can carb load 48 hours before an event and still have the benefit of the carbohydrates. So my big thing is to go on the day of the race or whatever you're doing the event. Most people are nervous as well. They don't want to eat loads of food. Like, it's not the thing you want to be doing. You want to feel, if anything, lighter inside and light on your feet and that sort of stuff. So I always say the 2 days before is when you try and get somewhat close to your body weight in kilos times by 9 to get grams of carbs where possible. It's not always easy to do. If you're 70 kilos, it's nearly 700 grams of carbs, a little bit less than that, 700 grams of carbs. So a lot of people go, oh my God, I can't eat that much. It's like, no, you probably can, because most of the time you're actually somewhat depleted. So 2 days on that before your event. And the reason for that as well, the other thing that people forget is that the digestion of that, and again, like the discomfort potentially of having to digest all that, can stay for 24 to 36 hours after consuming that food. So it's just important to remember that you can get that feeling of like bloatedness and for want of a better term on a podcast, being stuck, should we say, can last for a while. You don't want that when you're playing sport, when you're having to peak for an event. You don't want or need that. Whereas, so that's why if you have those 700-800 grams of carbs split over 2 days, where you feel like, okay, I can manage this in cereal, rice, things that kind of digest well and easily, you're going to be much better position to then be able to manage those carbs and manage your food intake rather than thinking you have to cram it all in last minute. It's just not a nice feeling to do within that. And usually that's combined with the days as well that you're then not training. So I'm assuming we're going to training a bit now, Tom. You're going to say, well, 2 to 3 days before the event, you're not really going to do much other than a bit of like PAP and potentiation crap and whatever you're probably going to say. I'm assuming something like that, some jumping and some hopping. There's nothing crazy going on in terms of like exertion. So you're not actually burning through any of those carbs either. So you can kind of make sure that you conserve your energy from that point of view as well. And then obviously the increase in carbs for a couple of days quite high can also actually help improve your sleep quality as well in the lead up to an event, which is quite handy.
Yeah, I think exactly that in terms of like, so peaking just for a particular event, I guess if you've got like a match or whatever. I think I've talked about this at length too in terms of advice of people being in my DMs, particularly for football. And again, because obviously we probably know more about peaking for football, but it's peaking every Saturday. In theory, we've got a week to peak every single fucking Saturday to try and kind of ramp them towards that. And people are like, oh, so when do you load heavy? We've always said as fucking close to when they performed as possible afterwards. It's like, that's when I'm loading as heavy as possible and trying to get some stimulus. And then we tail it off in terms of like, so that's the highest intensity, a little bit of lower volume. And then at the kind of next bit of the stage of the week, we probably increase the volume, but lower the intensity. And then both come down towards like really going to the end. The only thing about peaking for something like high rocks or something like that is I would advise, in the terms of the peak, like you've probably got 2 weeks or 1 week or whatever, I wouldn't advise just shutting down because the body likes kind of consistency. So if you shut down completely in terms of intensity, you're going to be fucked when you come to that day and try and perform really, really hard to an intensity that you want to, because your body's gone, shit, I thought we were chilling out. Like, why are we all of a sudden working really fucking hard? Like, so I would advise, that kind of the longest bout of probably 72 hours before, I want a really fucking low volume of a similar intensity for race day or whatever that be. But really fucking, I would say whatever your training was the week before, we want 40% of that, like a decent intensity, and you run that as a technical based session. And Dan would say it would mainly consist of, let's probably say, your bounds and your jumps and stuff like that, or powerlifting, not literally powerlifting, or powerful lifting, or strength, speed, strength, stuff like that. That time of intensity. I'm not going for my 1RMs and heavy loading that close. It's going to be safe technical lifting. Or it might be like you might be doing some sprint run throughs or technical stuff or anything like that. So, for example, my high rocks athletes this week have a They have a zone 2 run, which they know they're gonna be fine for, and then they have 2 quarter Hyroxes, which will take 20 minutes to 25 minutes to complete. And they don't run the full K. They run 500 meters, and they only run it 4 times, and they do half of what they would do at a technical pace of one of the Hyrox events. So I like them to get in the mindset they're going to do that order. I like them getting in the mindset that they're going to run and then come back. But they're going to, for these 2 things, they're going to run or give or take about their race pace, which is not all out for them whatsoever. So just for example, people who are doing Hyrox, the people who are successful keep consistent pacing throughout. Okay. And that consistent pacing, if you do run, or if you want my fucking pacing calculator, maybe I'll do a Hyrox pacing calculator, is give or take around what would be your guesstimated half marathon pacing based off the fatigue. So one of my lads will be running 5 to 5 and 50. He's got a window of 5 minute to 5:15 kilometers, and he's got to run that 8 times. If he drops out of that, he's probably not going to make the time that we want, but that'll be a give or take. So people realize that pacing is very important and keeping that intensity. But yeah, that coupled with Dan's wonderfulness of nutrition, you're probably going to be okay. But yeah, I think people either try to do too much in the last week in terms of like, shit, I've got to pack a little bit more training in. Yeah. I'm like, you don't. You need to like 40% of the volume that you were doing. Give your body time to recover the intensity.
People find it really odd, don't they, when you tell them to do less? And like, I'm like, that's a week off.
Yeah, it's a week to chill, but I still want you, whenever you are training, 20 minutes are going to be hard as fuck, but that's it. Literally it. You're going to feel like you've got so much more to give. But yeah, I'm going to take that and bank it. I still want the ability to perform really well, but we're just going to go boom, boom. So yeah, I think people do really struggle with that, with the week before, because they're like getting nervous energy and that kind of thing. So they're a little bit more active beforehand. But yeah, luckily, the guys that are doing Hyrox this weekend, it's not their first ones. So they're kind of like a little bit more prepared and they know what's happening. So obviously there's that kind of nervousness to it. But yeah, especially so. And in terms of the combine week, I would mimic in terms of trying to carb up the day before each time, and then at least, but I wouldn't worry about it too much because it's based off like training. It's like training metrics, not peaking metrics. I wouldn't particularly ask somebody to really, really peak for a combine week. We try to a best of our ability, but it's probably training peaks, not like competition peaking. So yeah, because there's 16 different tests that I asked them to do, and that's not normal to do that in a week, because it'd be very hard to get your best scores in all of those throughout the week. It's just giving us a nice guide. I just know you'll be probably about 90% around there. But Robin, good, nice mate. Nice. Yeah, beautiful.
Are England playing Italy tonight?
They are. Yeah. It's actually important as well. In Wembley.
Is it important, isn't it? No, I'm not even bothered.
I think if we beat them, we're through. We in the Euros, and they could not make the Euros.
Wow.
Which will be funny. But they did beat us in the Euro final, so they're kind of like, we've already done it, and so you can crack on and have another go. They did beat us. Anyway, Daniel, we wanted to talk about just being flashy a little bit, alluding on was that why you were trying to bring up being the Jordan Henderson of the fitness business industry?
James Milner, you said. Come on,
Jordan Henderson. You took the money. To go to in front of a lesser audience.
The Middle
That's
East.
What you wanted.
Yeah,
you were like, I'm going to switch platforms. You were going to take the money, go to LinkedIn. That's what Dan's doing. He's going to LinkedIn, so he gets less people, but he's taking 600 grand a week. So doing well, mate. So
yeah.
I will manage your LinkedIn for 6 grand of that. So 1%. Okay, I will manage your LinkedIn.
All the money I make from LinkedIn, you can have 1% of it. There you go. Deal. Yeah, it's no, we were just talking about it, and like I think in the space I'm now in. Well, I suppose you're in it to a degree as well. Like we're both kind of in it now.
Yeah, I would say I dabble, but only because people trust me from an education standpoint.
Yeah, I think we're at a point
mine is very wedged in. I still educate whilst I'm doing it. In terms of like, if you're lost within your training as well, I'm going to spend time doing that half and half.
yeah, I think it's just full of people who, and I don't see it as much anymore, but you brought it up about these mentors that just like always taking pictures of the cars they've got, the clothes they're wearing, the business class flights, and all this sort of stuff. And like as like always talking about it, always posting about money, always talking about how much money they make, how much money you should be making, how much money, everything's about money. And it's just like part of me feels a little bit like if you get scammed by one of these mentors that charges 10 grand up front for 4 months' work and they don't deliver anything and they don't get results, people, when you've not done your homework, and you just pick them based off the fact that they must know what they're talking about because they spend money on business class flights, have a flashy car, do all these flashy things, have flashy clothes. Part of me feels a little bit like, I don't want to say it because I know that I get some clients come from and they're just like, I just wasn't thinking straight, I was desperate, whatever. But part of me does feel a little bit like, what were you expecting? And like you almost deserve it a little bit. If you've not done your homework properly, you just go off that solely alone. Like, and just them talking a good game. I'm all for people bigging up their ability and bigging up their service and all that sort of stuff. I think that's if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. But I think you can do that alongside your clients and everyone else talking about how great you are. Then you're in a great position. You can let your clients do the talking and you can do that other stuff as well. So like me and Mike have our way of doing things, which is a bit self-deprecating. And then we go, yeah, but our clients are posting nice messages about us and we just joke about how we paid them to say, oh, they're shit, or they're actually not doing that well, whatever, blah, blah. And they actually are. And you can kind of see that they are. But it's the falling for that I just find baffling. And me and Tom were talking about it, and Tom was like, how does someone sign up with this guy? Like, if he's doing that sort of stuff. And I was like, people have different things that they look for. And like, I know that when my clients sign up with me, they're not that, I say not that bothered, but their sole focus isn't on making shitloads of money real quick. There's a few other things that they're focused on. There's a few other things that they're interested in. There's a few other things that are more important than making the money. That is a secondary thing and tertiary thing, and it is important. But from a place of doing the right thing first and living life on their terms, all those sorts of things. I just find it odd. And you were saying like, because you said you saw it and went, why the hell would anyone sign up with this guy?
Yeah,
like, people do though, Tom. People do though.
I know, that's the baffling thing. And I'm just like, it just like, I follow this guy because I haven't been blocked, which is weird by association, I would have thought. But and it's always funny to talk about with you two. So it's interesting.
I just think it's so much in the same way that I'm sure that if we were to talk about dating, right, and we were to talk about someone who going on a date with someone who just talks about money and the clothes they're wearing and the car they drive all the time,
yeah,
you'd be a bit put off. I would. You'd be a bit like, all right, fucking change the record. But yeah, in this scenario, it seems that like, how would that not put you off? To me, it would be hugely off-putting. But I do feel like it's only going to attract people that are that way themselves. So I go, well, the marketing then you could argue is on point. You could argue. I just think it's just not for us. It's just not the way we do things because obviously people do it because he can afford all these things. People are signing up and they are getting screwed over and they do want the Lamborghini lifestyle or whatever it is. And fucking fair play to them if that's what they want. I just think that with social media the way it is, with knowing that people can manipulate stuff, they can fucking rent Lamborghinis and you can fucking fly business class on points and you can get a free upgrade.
I know. What was I saying to you? Literally, because I was like, Dan, I'm not flying back Sunday because I'll fly back Monday morning because, and this is, but bear in mind, £350, not an expensive thing, but with my points, that's how much a business or a first class flight would be. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, I'll fucking do that.
Yeah, and it's just, I'm all for it. Like I said, I'm all for people doing that. But like I said this to clients loads of times. I said like, you don't know what I do and what I spend my money on because I don't show you what. It's like it's not important to me.
If you head over to the YouTube channel, Dan is actually sitting there with about 6 rings on. He's got gold Scotty Camerons all over the back of his a crown. Shit, man, is that like I can see behind into your garage? There's a new Jag.
Oh mate, there's everything. Don't worry about it. I don't know. I just think different people have put different value on things, and like for me, I think wealth is more than just the shit that you own. Like, and other people don't. Other people see it as a sign of like, well, I must be good. I must know what I'm doing. And I'm one of those people that I think not enough people are admitting that they want nice things to show off. Like, it's fine to do that if that's what you want. If you want to buy a Rolex watch, that's great, but you are doing it solely to show off because it tells the time. You can't sit there and say to me like, "Oh, I bought it because it means a lot to me." And it doesn't. It doesn't mean a lot to you. You bought it because it shows people you've got money. It's a status symbol, much in the same way all this other stuff is. And it's like people want status and all those things, but for me, I don't look at someone who's got those things and go, "Oh my God, they must be a better person than me, or they must be better off than me. They must be." You don't have no idea what's going on in their life, and I mean no idea. I've played golf over here with some people who, once you speak to them or you know them or you speak to other people who know them, they're like some of the richest people that you will ever know. And you to look at them, you would not have a clue. And I know some people who to look at, you would think are the richest people in the world, but know from other people that they are not, in fact, anywhere close to that. So it's just that thing of I feel personally like with things like whether it's clothes, watches, cars, whatever it is, I just feel like people who use that as a metric of how well someone's doing, personally, I feel like they're only the people in the middle of that. Mm. It's like that whole like what's the Dunning-Kruger effect? It's that thing.
Yeah, Dunning-Kruger.
Like, if you're actually that rich, you don't wear labeled clothes.
Well, I remember like obviously we were like blessed by training quite a few like wealthy people third space, right, and keeping them as clients. And I've still got this client now, and they're worth in the hundreds of millions, right? Fucking turns up in basic pajamas, the same clothes every single session, the same clothes. They washed, but they're like, he's got like a pair. He definitely bought them from Sports Direct, 1,000%. Couldn't give a shit. And he's just like, but he looks like he's just rolled out of bed, which he probably has. But it's just like, it's so funny.
Yeah, and like I like I've trained someone who's possibly from one of the richest families in literally the world, like quite literally. Just wouldn't know to look at. Like, again, I've been with this guy because he's taken me away to train him while he's been on holiday. Like, I've had amazing experiences.
I've been on a sex worker, basically.
Yeah. So like, but like even down to the point where like, so I've been on a private plane with this guy, right? I've been to an army base to fly a private plane or whatever. Like, you didn't know because I didn't post it on Instagram, right? But my point is that this guy would walk through the hotel that we stayed at, which is one of the nicest hotels I've ever been in. To look at him compared to everyone else, you would think he was like someone who worked there. You would think he was like a cleaner or something. You wouldn't know. Whereas then you would see people there who were all flashy and were all this sort of stuff. And he would go, "Oh, you never guess who that is. That's this person." "Oh yeah. They just lost their company. It's got dissolved." And it's like, well, what the fuck is spending all this money on here then? And you realize it's all just a front, a lot of this stuff. And I think no more so than on social media with this type of industry and work. Like, it baffles me that people still look at that as a metric of, "Oh, that must be good." Why? Based on what? Like, based on what? Like, so many people are living a lie on social media as it is, and you hear it all the time about people photoshopping pictures, and they're looking happy on Instagram, but then they got the worst relationship in the world up, out behind closed doors. It's like, do you not think that some people are doing that with like flashy shit like that just to try and get your money? Really? Like, you born yesterday? Yeah. Like, come on.
Well, I don't know whether they were taking the piss. Have you seen that there was I don't know whether it was a joke or whether it wasn't, but it was obviously, even if it was a joke, it was kind of done in jest, taking the piss out of this. There was this guy who like, "I've bought a private jet, so I can rent it out to influencers so they can come in and pretend that they're on a private jet for their clients or their group, or they're join the inner circle." I'm in a
group. I'm in a group over here on Facebook, like Brits in Dubai. It's called, like, it's full, like 20,000 people, obviously British people here in Dubai. Someone messaged in there saying, "Has anyone got a grounded private plane that we can borrow for a photo shoot?" And obviously everyone was in hysterics in the comments, like, "You fucking kidding me? Like, are you fucking kidding me?" People do it, man. People do it. It's crazy. It really is. And like, I just feel like if someone's always talking about money all the time on their Instagram, that's all they talk about. Even if you're looking at mentoring, like, just think about what their motives are. If that's all they talk about, like, so for us, we talk a little bit about money, but mostly about giving a good service, mostly about building a business you're proud of, mostly about living life on your terms, all those things, right? I always feel like it's quite obvious in this content that they can't not talk about what they're passionate about, people like that. And I'm like, it's quite evident all you give a shit about is money. Like, the proof is in the pudding. Like, just go and look. If all they talk about is money, it should tell you everything you need to know. And it's like, what are they interested in with you then? Building your business or your money? I wonder.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it's just I just find it baffling. Yeah, it's like, so a prime example is like those bodybuilding coaches who just talk about themselves and their own training all the time, and they've got 100 clients, and you're like, well, I know that those clients are not getting good service because all this coach cares about is themselves and their training. You kind of know that. You don't have to be a genius to work that out. And it's the same with this. It's like, do you not see it? Do you not like put two and two together? I just find it odd. Just find it odd. But yeah, like I said, if people get scammed out of the money, it's kind of like, well, that's what he talked about, so what do you expect? Maybe that's a bit harsh, but
maybe, but it's fine. I won't be getting some heat money, so I'm getting some heat.
Well, no, we're both getting some heat.
Oh wait, Alexa, how long left?
There are no times set.
Excellent. I swear she told me I told her to do something in like half hour. All right, we'll start to end the show.
Let me
start to
wrap up. Let me have a little.
Let's check this poll.
Check the
poll.
That's wow. Okay.
This is where the end of the show is going to be.
It's shifted though. It's shifted, man. So we're up to 75 votes.
Mate, you should thank me for the interactional post. So
75 votes, and we have 61% for after, 39% for before.
Mate, it's climbing, trending.
What? How though? Like, I don't get it.
I'm happy with that. I'm okay with that because those are the people that go out to work. It was going to be. Those are the people who clearly have to go to work. Not like you.
There's a lot of people here voting before that I'm confused.
Why are they confused? You just
I'm confused why they voted for before.
Their finger must slip or something like that. I think they've got the similar thing to me, where if in a perfect world, I would think I'd wake up, brush my teeth, breakfast.
Check the poll.
There we go.
Right. I'm gonna have to go in on some people here and be like, right, what's the thought process there?
Alexa, stop. Right, she told me to check the poll, so realized that could have been like a very odd thing to be shouting around, but yeah, it's fun. Yeah, how interesting. We'll find out soon on Dan's thing. I didn't really post about that because he just opened a whole load of
I've got a lot of people to get back to
there. Yeah, interesting.
Let me just talk about this.
Laid out the argument.
But the thing I find odd about this, right, is that means that you go then eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 3 meals that you go throughout the day, where you don't clean your teeth in any way, shape, or form. Then you brush your teeth in the evening, and then you brush your teeth in the morning, whether you've eaten nothing in between those. I thought the whole point of brushing your teeth was that obviously when you eat, you have an acidic environment on your teeth and all that sort of stuff and bad breath, and then you brush them. So at least if you have it after breakfast, you've then only got 2 meals to eat before you then brush them again at some point. Like the time doesn't. So straight away, even if we just did it as a time thing,
commit to it, Dan. You're not even committing to it. If you're brushing after one meal, you've got to brush after everything. There's probably a dentist listening to this at some point and just going,
I'm going to speak to a dentist.
Gross.
I'm going to speak to a dentist and I'm going to find out
their fucking job. They want you to buy toothpaste. Of course they want you to do more brushing. Like, they're like, here's the one you should buy. They're getting kickbacks. They're then use my code at Jimmy the Dentist too. Like, so that's what's going to happen.
No, I don't buy it. I'm not buying this. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
I got interested.
You've sent all these people to troll me.
I'm using my phone as my webcam, so no, I'm not.
Right. I'm gonna have to post a story now. I'm gonna have to get on my camera. I'm gonna look, guys. You lot are fucking idiots. This is what I do after.
I'm going to post a story as well saying, everybody, thank you. I don't have as big a following as Dan. So thank you for the committed followers. They're clearly they're probably podcast listeners. And did you say it was me and you having a disagreement?
Yeah, I said settle an argument.
Yeah, you see you've played into people's whether people like you or me. So that's going to be the interesting thing.
I've got some.
We all know you're the more angry man. So I'm the more calm and nice person. That's what's happening here.
I'm just going to go into the people that voted for after, and I'm going to be like, yeah, you guys are my people. There's some smarter people voting for after, so it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. After, yeah, people, smart ones are voting for after. It's fine. We're all good. I've looked at some of the people who voted for before, and they're morons. We're fine. We're okay with this time.
But that's right. All we need to know is all the people there. Obviously, they've got their Rolexes. The people doing there, they're flying business. I see it. They're on their Instagram, so they're all good. Absolutely fine. On a side note, Dan, it was something that I was talking about with a client today, CEO of 2 high street brands. And we were talking about like Instagram and influencer marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how much somebody per 100,000? He told me the going rate that they pay for like paid partnerships for about 2 to 3 like posts on a feed, and then about 3 or 4 like stories. Do you know how much that costs them?
Per post or
for 100,000? So for that amount, probably five things. So a couple of stories and then 2 like posts made by them.
On an influencer with 100,000 followers.
100,000 followers, yeah.
6 grand?
8 grand.
Yeah. A lot.
Yeah, they pay 8 grand. He was like, yeah, some of them, if they're doing it well, they're making a killing. Like, but then I was like, then I asked him, Nick, no, knows who Nick is, but I was like, how are you tracking that conversion? I was like, and he was like, we're not really.
You don't.
Like,
you can't track it.
You can't. And I was like, is that not like pissing into the fucking wind? Like, this is madness. Yeah. He was like, unfortunately, yeah, that's where.
But at the same time, but at the same time though, so the way we look at it with companies like that, that's what they're paying, right, to reach 100,000 people of their target demographic. So they must have to pay more than 8 grand to reach a group of people that maybe aren't their target demographic, and they've got to hope for the best. So it must pay off for them in the long run, because otherwise they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Because we had an influencer once. We tried to get her on for Blitz. So I'm kind of cheating because I kind of know roughly with that. But she wasn't 100,000. I think she had like 70 or 80. And it was 3 grand a month for 3 months we did. And she did like a post a week. That was it.
Yeah.
On a story. 1 post a week. And she did the program. Like, it didn't get anything in.
Really?
It didn't work at all.
Because obviously, like, I know
because they all post, because they're always posting about something as an ad, always, and it's just like people just get bored of it. They just don't bother as well. There's that element to it.
Because obviously, like, I've been in like those stuff with the My Protein stuff. I don't do as much with them anymore, but obviously they're like, oh, code, and that's how they track people's kind of revenue and bring them in, and click through rates and stuff like that from where they've come from. That's the only thing that they could track. That's why My Protein and all those links and stuff like that, they affiliate marketing schemes, that's what they do. And people try and they earn money just through affiliates, right? So that's what some people's income is. But they have to post. And you have to use that particular link. If you click off that link and don't use that on their click-through, then it's nothing. But yeah, it was quite interesting. I thought that was quite interesting. So 2 major high street, they're in fucking Dubai, brands. And he was like, yeah, 8 grand we spend on that. So I was like, interesting.
A lot of money.
Very interesting. Yeah, think about it. Got to get my followers up. Fuck me. I need to do more TikTok.
Start posting more content, mate. Yeah.
I've got to unfortunately train people. But sorry, I won't cry about it. We're in an okay position. Yeah. Any other business, Dan?
Not for me. No. Just make sure you brush your teeth after you've had breakfast tomorrow.
Basically, if you're whenever people listen to this, I never really know. I'm assuming, I think most people listen to obviously on a commute, or because that's what we do it to, like we're bang on 43 right there. Normally for a tight 45, don't we, or 43, something like that, right?
Yeah, normally.
Average commuting time or driving time, or you can split it into 2, you commute in, commute out. Brush your teeth. Just brush your teeth all the time.
Just brush your teeth, basically. Now, that's definitely a good thing. You guys will do it before or after. At least you're doing it. Like, that's cool.
And don't be traditionally British and have shite teeth. That's like, that's what happens. So speaking of a person who will have Invisalign for the rest of his life. So yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Obviously, next week, if you're on my combine shit, you've probably already been in my Facebook lives, but you please book in a call with me so I can tell you where the fuck you're going to be going with your training, because everybody gets that for free, amazingly. Yeah, and if you want to be involved, I think I might run another free week before Christmas, so somebody's got something to train for over Christmas or something like that, because people tend to do fuck all, don't they? So, or feel really lethargic. They'll be full of beans anyway. So, and then we can annually talk about how bad Dan's chocolate choices are with his quality streets. So, I'm going to bring a big box of quality street over to Dubai with me. So, look forward to that, mate.
Fine by me. I look forward to it.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Catch you next week.
See you later.